Hello. On behalf of the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, I would like to welcome you to the induction of the College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame Class of 2024. My name is Jane Vatchev, I'm the chair of the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, and I am thrilled to be with you this evening to celebrate our 5th class of inductees into the Athletic Hall of Fame. When I was coaching at COD, I often tried to inspire my track athletes during our weekly team meetings. I would share with the athletes about our rich athletic history at the College of DuPage and about their place in that chain of history. I would encourage the athletes about creating and maintaining a winning tradition based on the shoulders of those that had come before them. Tonight, we are so honored to celebrate 7 of these legends who were instrumental in our amazing athletic history at the College of DuPage. In 2016, to give you a little bit of background about the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee and Hall of Fame, in 2016, with the support of administration, the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee was formed and a mission statement was created. The committee determined 3 categories of recognition: female athlete, male athlete, and coach athletic support staff. The mission statement and the criteria for each category are both included in your program tonight. And you have a program at every place setting. Once the criteria was set, nominations were obtained by reaching out to current and former coaches, the college community, and the community at large. In June of 2019, we celebrated our first class of inductees, and now tonight, our next 7 legends will be forever connected to the athletic history of our great college. 10 of our 24 Hall of Famers are with us tonight. Could I have those who have been inducted in our 3 previous ceremonies please stand when your name is called and be recognized? Don Kloss. Hal McInich. Mike Bellamy. Jamie Walters Eichmann. Jason Hyatt. Ralph Miller. Aaron Bailey. And Jessica Stacy. What an amazing group of legends. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to them continuing to attend our future ceremonies. By the way, future nominations are welcome. Check out our athletic website, gochapsgo.com, for nomination forms and information, or pick up a form from the welcome table after the ceremony. There are 2 different forms, one form for athletes to nominate a former athlete and one form for coach athletic support staff. The committee is often asked why an outstanding former athlete or coach has not yet been inducted into the Hall of Fame, but until they are nominated by someone, we can't consider them for induction. So please nominate any worthy candidate. Tonight, the 7 inductees will be receiving a glass-inscribed award, as shown up here, and a polo shirt, as worn by many of the former inductees, with the Athletic Hall of Fame monogrammed on it. We will also be putting up a plaque on the wall of the Hall of Champions at the PE Athletic Building on campus. It will have their picture and their biography of their athletic achievements. We also have a gift for you tonight. At each place setting, you will see a glass with the chap bird on one side and the Athletic Hall of Fame logo on the other. So please take this glass home as our thank you for attending tonight's ceremony. I would like to introduce you to the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee. Please stand when I read your name. Don Kloss, Ryan Kaiser, Jason Hyatt, Ralph Miller, Mark Reinhiller, Tolis Kaskanaris, and Matt Foster. Please give them your round of applause. Ron Otteson is also on the committee, but was not able to make it tonight. Thank you, for my committee, for your time, your dedication, and commitment to the Hall of Fame. I would also like to remember Al Zamsky, who was part of the Hall of Fame committee from the beginning, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2019, and who passed away earlier this year. Al was an advocate, a voice of reason, and always had passion for COD athletics, and he is greatly missed. We have worked closely with the Office of Institutional Advancement and would like to thank Vice President for Institutional Advancement, Walter Johnson, for his guidance. Please stand, Walter. Thank you. Our committee has support from the College of DuPage administration, including Provost Dr. Mark Curtis Chavez and Assistant Provost for Student Affairs, Dr. Diana Del Rosario. Please stand. Thank you very much, Dr. Del Rosario. We have ongoing support for this event from Vice President of Public Relations, Wendy Parks, and a big thank you to Jen Duda, both of which are not here tonight, but Jen is the Community Engagement Manager for securing our photographer. I want to thank the staff at the MAC, including Jimmy Gosling, Elise Wash, and the MAC Director, Diana Martinez, for their assistance with the ticket sales. I want to thank Paul Smith, our talented florist who worked with me to create the floral arrangements, and the outstanding staff at the DoubleTree Hilton, Cindy Schwartz from events, and Karen Barrymore from the hotel. Lastly, I want to thank a few people who have been instrumental in creating the ceremony tonight. We have some outstanding professional audio visuals with tonight's celebration, and I thank Kevin Willman and his staff, Joe Laraza and Josh Calbo and Bob Peroni for all of their hard work. The videos of tonight's ceremony will be posted on the COD Athletic website thanks to these talented men. The videos of each inductee that Kevin puts together help make this evening special. So thank you, Kevin. You are such a professional to work with. Please stand, Kevin, or wave at least. He's outstanding. The college is so lucky to have you, Kevin. We are so fortunate to have Jenny Dunbar, our COD archivist, digging through and finding amazing pictures of the past to include in our videos. So thank you, Jenny. I don't think she's here yet. And Beverly Smith. There's a few people I can't do this without, and Beverly Smith is certainly one of them. She is our athletic administrative assistant. She helps me to stay organized. She does all the accounting setup with the accounts, pays all the bills, and helps with all the banquet prep and setup, and was at our welcome table tonight. Absolutely amazing, Bev. Thank you from my bottom of my heart. Please stand and be recognized. I want to thank Athletic Director Ryan Kaiser for his support and commitment to the vision of maintaining the quality of this event. Thank you so much, Ryan. And lastly, my right-hand man in organizing every aspect of this ceremony, and our MC tonight, Mark Reinhiller. Mark, I appreciate all of your hard work, your effort, your time, your writing talent, and your feedback. You are incredibly talented, and this celebration event would not be successful without you, so thank you so much. In athletics, we understand that a team is only successful with great leadership. So, too, is a college. President Brian Caputo has fully supported athletics at COD, and I want to thank him for his ongoing support of the Athletic Hall of Fame. Dr. Caputo has attended and been part of welcoming our guests at every induction ceremony, and this is our 5th. Personally, I want to thank Dr. Caputo for his guidance and his friendship. It is my honor and privilege to welcome this evening our president of the College of DuPage, Dr. Brian Caputo.
Thank you so much, Jane, and thank you all for being here tonight. It's a pleasure having you here for this event. Each year, it just seems to get better and better. Tonight's 2024 Athletic Hall of Fame class celebration is really an important milestone for College of DuPage. Our institution lays the foundation necessary for talented athletes from around the country to successfully compete and take their game, so to speak, to the next level. Time and time again, COD has proven that athletes can start, play here, and go just about anywhere. All 4 of the athletic honorees, Brigid Barrett, Ashley Collins, John Fry, and Mark Suda, were all Americans. Our coach honorees, Bob MacDougall and Dr. Thomas Earl Reed, spent the majority of their careers here at COD and set significant records. Coach MacDougall had 174 coaching victories in his 20 seasons at COD and established an NJCAA record for an unbeaten streak at 36 games. Coach Reed led the women's basketball team to 2 NJCAA national championships in basketball in 2000 and 2002, women's basketball. And it's no secret that COD has a strong history of outstanding athletes and an extraordinary athletic department. We applaud all of our Hall of Fame honorees and look forward to learning more about their paths to success here tonight. On behalf of College of DuPage, thank you for your hard work, determination, and historic achievements. We are all better here because of you. And let's enjoy the evening.
Thank you for your kind remarks and support, Dr. Caputo. Our induction ceremony will continue after dinner.
Well, good evening, everyone. And once again, welcome to the class of 2024 College of DuPage Chaparral Athletic Hall of Fame ceremony. My name is Mark Reinhiller. I am the college's sports information coordinator, and welcome once again. It's great to be able to have everyone here tonight, enjoy a great meal, and learn and share some more stories about COD Chaparral lore and history. Our 2024 Hall of Fame class honored this evening brings the total number of Chaps inducted to 31 since it originated 5 years ago. And we recognize and honor those who paved the way for making Chaparral athletics the local, regional, and national power in our 57 years of athletics. There really is no better way of bringing an athletic year to an end than what we have here tonight. To help Jane and the committee build the Athletic Hall of Fame over the last 6 years, into what's become a point of pride on campus is especially gratifying. 24 individuals have been inducted in our previous 4 classes, and to see so many of those individuals return tonight really is a pretty cool thing. And you know, it was Jane's idea to be able to have the gray polo shirts and to be able to see our Hall of Famers wear those shirts tonight with pride. I think it really says a lot and speaks volumes about the opportunity that we have here this evening. Tonight we celebrate and commemorate the achievements of 2 coaches, 4 athletes, and a college president who have left an indelible mark upon the history of COD athletics. From national championship trophies and individual honors to those who made tremendous use of their athletic ability to excel and compete in their chosen sports beyond COD, and to those who directed, mentored, and coached, it is proof positive athletics have played a critical role in each one of our Hall of Famers' lives, and certainly for all of us who are gathered here tonight. This past year, COD won 2 national championships, football with its 3rd straight title, and men's track and field now with 4 straight, and that brings our total number of natties to a remarkable 43 in our history, 25 men and 18 women. It bears repeating that we began the 23-24 season recognized as the preeminent power in NJCAA Division III athletics by our winning the Learfield Directors Cup. We are only the second non-scholarship program to win the coveted award. The successes we've enjoyed in 23-24 build upon the legacy achieved by the works of Mark, John, Brigid, Ashley, Bob, Earl, and Brian. And on behalf of the Hall of Fame Committee, congratulations to our newest class of SHAP Hall of Famers. And now, let's begin with the reason why all of us are gathered here today.
More than 50 years of athletics have taken place at College of DuPage as the Chaparrals celebrate and honor their 5th Athletic Hall of Fame class with its induction ceremony tonight. We honor all Americans in the sports of basketball, track and field and cross country, men's and women's soccer, 2 coaches, and a COD president whose achievements helped build the legacy of successes at every level of intercollegiate athletics. Tonight, we recognize Brigid Barrett, Ashley Collins, John Fry, Mark Suda, the late Bob MacDougall, Dr. Thomas Earl Reed, and Dr. Brian Caputo for their individual talents, their contributions to successful championship teams, coaching ability, and athletic advocacy that have helped build the stellar reputation of athletic success at COD. Athletics have played a prestigious role in the college's reputation and image since COD opened its doors in 1967. The Chaparrals have won 43 national championships in 13 different sports. In 2022 and 2023, and for the first time in school history, the Chaparrals were awarded the Learfield Directors Cup, the highest award granted to any junior college athletic program in the country. And including last year, the Chaps have won 8 Daktronics Cup awards as the top junior college non-scholarship program in the nation. COD boasts 21 sports in its intercollegiate athletic program, as the women feature cross-country, volleyball, golf, basketball, soccer, indoor and outdoor track, lacrosse, softball, and tennis. And for men, football, cross-country, golf, soccer, basketball, volleyball, indoor and outdoor track, baseball, lacrosse, and tennis. And all 21 sports create opportunity for DuPage County students to utilize their athletic skills and enhance their education through athletics. Congratulations, Brigid, Ashley, John, Mark, the late Bob MacDougall, Earl, and Brian on becoming the newest members of College of DuPage's Athletic Hall of Fame.
Mark Suda set Region 4 men's soccer on a whole other level in his 2 seasons. A 2-time All-American, the Downers Grove native was a scoring machine for head coach Jimmy Kelly's teams in 1991 and 92. As a freshman, he helped the Chaps to an NJCAA tournament berth by scoring 41 goals with 17 assists as COD went on to finish 5th in the country. How does someone score 41 goals, man? I mean, that's insane. Great team, yeah. The following year, Mark produced 25 goals with 10 assists as the Chaps repeated to the national tournament and finished 4th. Mark continued his soccer career at DePaul, where he was a key player in his 2 seasons with the Blue Demons.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce Mark Suda into the College of DuPage Athletics Hall of Fame. Mark and I go way back into our youth career. I've known Mark for 35 plus years. We have been teammates. Mark is an individual with many accolades, including All-American honors, records, and goals. But Mark, the one characteristic that you have that can't be overshadowed by your goals and your individual accolades is your ability to be a great teammate. You always put the team first. You always look past the honors and made it about the goal setting of the team. And for that, I thank you. And you deserve everything that you get 30 plus years later. Besides Mark's individual performances on the field, articles in the newspaper, awards that he was given, Mark was always an individual that put the team first. He always spoke about our goal setting. Mark was very intimidating from a stature standpoint. 6'4", 210 pounds, but he always found a way to bring the team together and put all of his individual accomplishments aside in the effort to try and win a national championship. He did this both on and off the field. To me, Mark was a great teammate, a great leader within the team in helping us accomplish our goals. Even though we came up short the 2 years that we went to the national finals, Mark was always a great leader within the group and helping us try to accomplish our goals. One of the memories that I have playing with Mark at College of DuPage was the preseason. In the summer times with Jimmy Kelly and the fitness program that we had. It was very demanding. It was multiple days during the week, and there was no soccer ball. It was just running shoes. And one of the things that Mark brought to those sessions is he got us to understand that this was a important piece to what we were going to accomplish in the fall season. And Mark was always a leader, pushing guys, getting them to work harder, as well as getting them to play at their highest performance. Mark's leadership and motivation, Mark's leadership and attitude was always something that was second to none during our fall season. I know College of DuPage has had a rich tradition on the soccer field prior to Mark and myself playing at COD. But one of the things that we were able to do with Mark's individual talents on the field is get over the humps of the regional qualifiers that advanced you to the national finals. We would not have been able to do it without Mark. His individual performances, the amount of goals that he was able to score, his dynamics, his leadership on the field was able to sort of catapult us to somewhere where maybe the school hasn't been on the soccer field, and we couldn't have done it without Mark. Mark and I have had many accomplishments on the field, both as youth soccer players in a state championship that we won prior to College of DuPage, the 2 national championship runs that we had at College of DuPage. But Mark and I have stayed friends for the last 30 years, even off the field and after our playing days have been done. One of the things that Mark stands out to me about is he's always been there to pick up the phone. We have grown up together. We have had success as fathers together. I've even coached Mark's son over the last couple of years. But Mark has been a great father. He's helped me out in so many different ways off the field after our time at College of DuPage. Mark, out of all the teammates that I've played with over the years, I can't imagine anyone more deserving to be inducted into the College of DuPage Athletics Hall of Fame. It is an honor for you. It is an honor for me. And I wish you all the best of luck.
Two-time first-team All-American Mark Suda starred for the men's soccer program. He scored 41 goals with 17 assists as a freshman and guided the Chaps to the NJCAA Soccer Championship, where the Chaps finished 5th in 1991. The following season, he scored 25 goals with 10 assists and guided the Chaps back to the NJCAA Championship, finishing 4th. the Downers Grove Natives teams went 42-4-3 overall in 2 seasons when the NJCAA recognized just one division of men's soccer. He later played on scholarship at DePaul, where he was named to the Great Midwest All-Newcomer team in 1993.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. That was about as great of an introduction I've ever received for anything. Thank you, College of DuPage, Mark Reinhiller, Jane Vatchev, and Geez Bailey. That was an amazing gift. You're officially on my list of people for my eulogy. To my parents, thanks for giving me the love and support and the necessary resources to follow something I'd love to do. You were always there for me, countless driving hours to and from practices and games in all weather conditions. You even sat on the sidelines in the snow. Those are memories I cherish. Mom, your first ever speeding ticket was arguably my fault because I had forgotten my shoes when we left the house and you were just trying to get me there on time. It's quite an honor being standing up here with those in attendance as well as the others being received tonight. Congrats to Brigid, Ashley, John, Dr. Caputo, and of course Coach Mack and Coach Reed, who were coaching football and basketball when I was attending COD. First off, I'd like to thank the coaches that helped me shape my soccer future. Each one of them played a significant role in who I would turn out to be as a player, and even the person I am today. Powaga, Henry, Ed Skotarek, my father Dan Suda, Louis Matus, Mike Makovich, Flex, and the Richardson family in the soccer organization. And of course, the COD great Jimmy Kelly. I thank you all for influencing my future the way you did. So my father got me a private coach at the age of 9. Ed Skotarek was his name. This guy was my Miyagi. From Ed, I learned the techniques and exercises to properly warm up, dribble the ball with my head up, and learn how to strike a ball. You know, paint the fence, sand the floor. Those are transferable skills. After a year of training with Ed, he and his family moved just outside Tulsa, Oklahoma. My father took over with his little to no knowledge, and he followed the steps that Ed had taken with me. For example, Dad would bring 6 5-foot wooden stakes and stack them in the ground, hammer them in from the box to the middle of the field. It was one of those things where he'd throw the ball to me, and I'd have to dribble in and out of those things over and over again. After I was nice and winded, he'd jump in the goal with a bag of balls at his feet. I'd get to the farthest stake, and he would send me the ball. I'd have to bring the ball under control, racing through the stakes to the goal. And this did not come without mistakes or some shouting. Sometimes it was encouraging, oftentimes it was not. Sometimes my older brother would come join us for training, but his role was not to help me with passing or dribbling. He would chase me through the stakes, and when he caught me, he would try to destroy me. I'm not sure if he didn't like me or he just didn't like it when I said, "Hey, try to catch me, Tubby." I seem to have an amazing peripheral vision as a result of his pursuit. Thanks, Jim. Then there was a game I'll never forget. Maybe I was 10 or 11 years old. I'd received a pass just inside of our half line. I dribbled through 3 or 4 of the opposition players, and I scored before my teammates and I could get to the half line. I was picked up, thrown in the air, and dropped on the ground. It was my father. Oh boy, was he proud. It was the first time I witnessed my father getting booked with a red card. Apparently, random people can't run onto a soccer field and start tossing kids in the air. And yeah, that was his first red card. It wasn't until I had my own kids and they started playing sports where I felt that rush of overwhelming pride and emotion. I can thank my kids for that. You other parents know how that feels. For the next few summers, I would spend a month in Tulsa, Oklahoma being trained by Ed Skotarek. The lessons I learned about family and soccer are endless. The weekly family dinners, attending church, his undying love for his family, and his gift for soccer and coaching will always be remembered. A few years go by, and we're graduating high school. People are asking, where are you going to go to school? What do you want to do? Do you know what you want to be when you grow up? I wanted to be a soccer player. After hastily signing a letter of intent at Lewis University, other options seemed to surface. Somehow I found myself at a school just outside Kansas City, and after training for a week, a short but then familiar encounter with SVT, and I was soon home having a minor procedure for a heart issue. Staying at my parents' house, they asked me to enroll in school, get out of the house, and COD is your best option. I had heard they had a good team, and I went to a game as soon as I could. That's where I met Jimmy Kelly, one of the most amazing coaches I've ever had. We didn't know one another, and I was just this kid off the street asking if I could try out for the team. He let me know it could be hard to break into the starting team this far into the season, and he asked me to think about maybe showing up next year. It was a lot to digest, but it was a good idea. That next year was going to be great. There was a mini camp for about a week from what I remember, and Jimmy had some time to see a few players play, who was going to be on the team and who was not. The next week, as a team, we'd meet and we'd have to run 2 miles under 12 minutes. I did it, most of us did it. Scott, I don't think you finished. After the run, we all changed out of our trainers and got into our boots. We had a good practice. That day we got to learn a lot about each other. Fighting through the run, starting the day, and then practice, it was a lot for us. After practice, the feeling was like what it might feel your first day in a holding cell. Hey guys, just staring at each other, questions flying around. Hey, how did you get here? What's your story? How did you end up at COD? Turned out we were all here at the right place at the right time. We had some super talented creative guys on that team, just amazing people. We had a guy from Turkey, Scotland, Costa Rica. This dude brought his wife and kids to each practice. We had a guy from Poland, Mexico, Venezuela, and then we had a dozen or so second and third generation mutts like myself. With Pat Conlon, Belky, Polish Chris, Martin Galagli, we were on our way for something great. Guys like Grassi and Chris Whitaker were special players, game changers. They literally bounced the ball off of me into the goal. We had a good starting 11 and we had a deep bench. This was a great group of guys that loved soccer. One turning point for us was a game against Lake County, a DuPage rival. They had some very notable players, very talented and quick, scored the bulk of their goals. Our defense, captained by Todd Bailey and Scott Vuno, along with Elias, Tim Killen, Danny Lewis, shut their entire offensive threats down. We were off to nationals. To see some of the talent and sheer determination from guys like Bailey and Vuno was unique. As Todd did on several occasions, he would make saves we just couldn't believe. From a lower right-hand post to the left upper 90 in just a second. He stopped everyone. After weathering a storm on a few occasions, we pulled the game out that sent us to a bigger show. The first time in a 20-year history, COD was headed to nationals. We had 22 good players. We had a coach that made sure that 22 guys were ready for every practice session and every game. We worked for one another. We respected one another. The camaraderie, the commitment, and the discipline, these were fostered by Jimmy Kelly. When he played with us on the field, he rarely lost the ball. He made the game simple and always made the right choice. He said, play the way you're facing and don't take chances that could hurt the result of the game. We had so many people behind us, not just our classmates, our parents and friends and family, but some of the staff. We had Molly Durkin, we had the late Julie Roman, and the training staff played a huge part of our seasons and successes. In a fall season sport like soccer, we fit roughly 24 games in a 10-week stretch. The demanding schedule didn't come without bumps, knocks, and injuries. Julie Roman was one of the most dedicated professional trainers you could work with. She loved her job. She had fun with it. We love you, Julie. The guys that are here tonight, Scott, Jimmy, Rick Poor, Scott Swimmer, and I thank you guys for sharing tonight's event with us and all the memories. For my children who are here tonight, Eden, Owen, and Lila, I'm proud of the young adults you are becoming. Thanks for being here. To my parents, probably sleeping right now, thanks for everything you put up with and helped me through. My siblings, Michelle and James, thank you. I could not have done this without you. The support, the occasional fight, has changed my life only for the best. To Jimmy Kelly, thanks for taking a chance on me. Your commitment to your players and the game is unrivaled. What you bring to the game is a treasure. I am fortunate to have met you and grateful to have played for you. Bailey, from our days at DuPage, our most recent history of you coaching my son Owen, I appreciate you for all that you have accomplished and what you have given back to the game. It's not only selfless, it's also inspiring. Proud to have spent the time with those of whom I have met at the College of DuPage. It wasn't just an option for school, it was an incredibly wonderful choice. Thank you, go Chaps.
Congratulations, Mark. Five-time and two-sport national champion John Fry was a dominant force in both cross-country and track during his 2006 and 2007 seasons at COD. The Elmhurst native earned 5,000 and 10,000 meter titles his freshman year, and then added an individual title in cross country, along with repeating in the 5 and 10Ks and winning the 3,000 steeplechase during his sophomore season. All told, John earned 7 All-American honors, 2 Athlete of the Meet honors, and won a track team title in 2006. The NJCAA Track and Field Hall of Famer remains COD's school record holder in the 10,000.
I have the pleasure of introducing John Fry as a 2024 Hall of Fame inductee. I met John in 2006 running track at COD, and we really hit it off almost instantly. I had run the fall in cross country for COD, and he wasn't on the team. And we were pretty subdued group, but when John came in, him and I gelled very well. John's got a great sense of humor, and that really hit it off, so we became friends pretty quickly. It also helped that we were both really big baseball fans, him being a Sox fan, me being a Cubs fan. We could just jar back and forth during long runs, and that really got us close. Where we really became really good friends was that fall of 2006, entering the cross-country season. John came and pretty much helped bring in a new culture to that team. We were fortunate to have him, obviously, because he's such a talented runner, but really the leader was the part that I think goes a little under the radar. We took second in the nation as a team, but there's no way we would have done that without John. You could replace this production, but if you didn't give us the leader that he was, not a chance that we would have done it. He really did help bring just a more laid-back team vibe to it. He organized bowling outings. He organized all of us just doing morning runs, getting us on the same page to really, I think, just thrive as a team. To this day, that 2006 cross-country team is one of the closest, tight-knit teams that I've ever been part of, and I still cherish those memories. I mean, you had a really good, eclectic group of guys, including Andrew Dunham, Ricky Malik, Aaron von Summeren, and to throw in John Fisher. All of us just really worked together. And it really just became a team that wanted to joke around, but also really wanted to win. John's leadership was pretty much second to none when it came to it. He brought in the culture from what he learned basically at York High School as one of basically a disciple of Joe Newton. John, he's got a big personality at times. He's also very subdued. His kind of his sense of humor is dry at times, but also he could the next minute say the most outlandish thing you've ever said to get a rise out of you. And I'd say one of his best qualities is his laugh. If anybody knows John, his laugh is second to none, and I really hope people at the ceremony today get to experience it because it's such a big part of who he is. Now, his achievements speak for themselves. 10K record holder still to this day, won the 5K. The steeplechase in 2007, he's probably the worst form steeplechase runner to ever win it, but just his sheer talent as a runner, he was able to overcome everybody else. And he was 1 second off of the course record at Nationals for cross country, which he easily would have had if he just didn't lollygag it in like he did. And that's just to show you the kind of talent he had. He really was one of the most talented runners that I've ever been around. What the best part of John was he made long runs and practices fun to be there for. You looked forward to the long runs, whether it was getting hill workouts at Blackwell, long runs at Herrick Lake, the magical land of 4 lakes where there's no wind. He knew how to make those days enjoyable. And when you do miles and you've run distance, you learn that not every day is a day that you wake up and you want to go put in a 2-hour run or an hour and a half run. But when you have guys like John, it makes it way much more fun and easy to do. The cool part about especially COD is when you're running in an athletics like this, in high school, your teams are separated. You don't have the women's team with you and the men's team separated. But in college, because it's such a smaller group of people that are coming to the table to do it, especially in community college, John really worked well with both the women's team and the men's team, and he helped gel them together too. Like I had said earlier, he organized breakfasts before our track meets so that we would, as a team, didn't matter if you were a shot putter, if you were a pole vaulter, if you were a sprinter, distance runner, everybody was invited, and he brought that to the table. Really, for me, it comes as no surprise that John is entering the Hall of Fame. For, I think, all of us that ran with him, it was a foregone conclusion the day his eligibility was up, and it really is my honor and my privilege to introduce to you the 2024 Hall of Fame inductee, John Fry.
John Fry, a 5-time NJCAA track and field national champion and COD's first individual cross-country national champion, remains among the all-time greats for the storied Chaparral track and field program. As a freshman, the Elmhurst native won the NJCAA 5,000 and 10,000 meters and placed second in the 1,500. That fall, he won the cross-country title, and as a sophomore on the track, repeated in the 5,000 and 10,000, and added the 3,000-meter steeplechase for his 5th individual track title. He was a 7-time track and field All-American, 2-time NJCAA Athlete of the Meet, and helped COD to the team title in 2006. He remains the school record holder in the 10,000 meters and was named to the NJCAA Track and Field Hall of Fame in 2013.
I'm John Fry, everyone. Thank you. I'm going to put this in there now that I don't need that. Grab this out. Put me on a finish line, on the track, on the starting line, and not nervous at all. I'm ready to go, but doing this, I'm, whew, okay. Good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to actually thank Pat for that amazing intro. I loved every second of it. It actually made me laugh, and I love all the pictures of my hair. My daughter's like, "Dad, who's that?" I'm like, that was me." It is an absolute honor to be standing up here in front of family, friends, teammates, and fellow Caparels. I wanted to thank Coach Jane Vatchev for creating the College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame and putting this amazing event together. To have learned about the rich history of COD and its in athletics, and for now forever being a part of its history, is truly a blessing, and I'm honored to share that with Brigid, Ashley, Bob, Mark, Dr. Reed, and Dr. Caputo. Since I wasn't the fastest runner growing up, I honestly thought something like this was never a possibility. College of DuPage was truly a positive experience for me. From the education I received, to the friendships that were created, and to the incredible memories that I have of being on the cross-country and track teams. College of DuPage showed me that I didn't have to live in the shadow of others, that I am my own star, and a rather bright one at that. This all started for me almost 20 years ago, back in 2005, on one cold December day. I was transferring to COD from another college and was excited to learn that I could have a second chance at my running career through COD's athletic programs. I still remember walking into Coach V's office and letting her know that I wanted to join the track team. She handed me a sheet of paper that listed all the track and field events and what it took to qualify for nationals. I looked at it over and was surprised, as my personal bests were fast enough to qualify for every event from the 800-meter dash to the 10,000-meter run. Up to this point, I considered myself more of a distance runner, like the 10K, so I always considered being able to qualify for the 800-meter dash one of my more impressive accomplishments at COD. As a distance runner, we consider the 800-meter dash, not run, dash, a sprint, where if you talk to any sprinter and tell them that they're going to run 800 meters, they're thinking that they're going to end up in Indiana from here. I'll never forget the look of disbelief on Coach's face, as she clearly thought I was crazy and had no idea what I was talking about and was full of it. That look was what got me determined to show her that I could do it, that I could qualify in a majority of the distance events and be a great leader and teammate, while also proving that I'm just built different, because who in their right mind would want to race in the 4x8, the 10K, the 5K, the 1500 at nationals amongst the top athletes their freshman year? Most distance runners only focus on one or two events. Not me. I raced in 4 events my freshman year, won the 5K and 10K. During the nationals, after watching the other athletes compete in the steeplechase, I had never run that race before. I thought to myself, I could win that race too. I added that 7.5 laps to my 43 laps I had already competed to running wouldn't be too difficult. Sophomore year nationals, nationals, along with winning the 5K and 10K, again, I qualified and won the steeplechase. Looking back, I'm so glad I found the courage to add steeplechase to my running career, as I felt it was a fun and entertaining race to run. In my running career, I completed the steeplechase 3 times, won the race all 3 times, so I can have fun gloating that I'm technically undefeated in that race. Although I've had great success in the steeplechase, I consider my best event the 10K. My favorite championship of the 5 track wins would go to my sophomore 10K race. That race, I had the great pleasure of running with one of my good friends and teammate, John Fisher. Through great teamwork, we were able to finish together, going first and second. I was and still am proud of how how he ran that race with me. For as amazing of an experience I had with track, I've always enjoyed cross country a little bit more. To be the first cross-country athlete inducted into the Hall of Fame out of the college's 50-plus year history is absolutely surreal to me. One of the main contributors to my cross-country success while at COD was my head coach, Matt Cousins. Matt was a strength coach who was filling in as the cross-country coach because no one else really wanted to coach us ragtag of misfits, I'll say. He ended up being one of the most successful cross-country coaches that COD has had. He's the only coach who can say coached an individual champion and a Hall of Fame inductee. I truly enjoyed having Matt as my cross-country coach while at COD. He built an amazing team atmosphere that made coming to practice the highlight of our day, and he enabled me to become the champion and leader that I am today. 2 of my most memorable cross-country races were the regional and national races in the fall of my sophomore year. Both races were entertaining from my viewpoint, but probably not as great for the officials, hosts, and other athletes. For the regional race, the officials and hosts had not set up the finish line yet. So as I was turning the last corner, a couple hundred meters from the finish line, my dad had to yell at them to quickly put it together. And the officials looked at my dad like, what are you talking about? We got minutes before anyone's coming. And my dad's like, no, my son's turning the corner right now. And they looked like, oh. So it was entertaining to me coming around the corner and seeing them quickly having to put the finish line together as I crossed through in disbelief. Kind of lost my place here. For the national race was entertaining to me in a slightly different way. For that race, the other top athletes thought that they could compete with me and stay at my pace. I allowed them to believe this for the first mile, and then told them it was fun running with them, and I'd see them at the finish line and took off. As I increased my pace and took the lead, I could hear other runners say I was going too early and that they'd catch me before the finish line, which never happened. After winning the race, I was told I was seconds from the course record, so I guess if I shouldn't have lollygagged that first mile. My running career wouldn't have been as amazing as it has been without all the love and support I received. The last couple minutes, I'd like to thank those who have supported me along the way. I'd like to first thank my parents for recognizing the passion I had for running at a young age and encouraging me to continue. I'd like to thank the late, great Mr. Joe Newton. He was much more than just a high school coach to me, although easily in my mind, he's the greatest high school coach there ever was. He was like a second father to me. He didn't just teach me about being an athlete, he taught me how to be an adult, the importance of being on time, taking responsibility, having a hard work ethic, being polite while he had the mouth of a trucker, and just overall being a good person. I'd like to thank my teammates, especially Pat DeRico, Ricky Malik, and Becca Smith, now Orrs, right? Did I say that right? I know her as Becca Smith, so it's weird that she got married. For giving me 3 of the best friendships I could ask for. I have so many fond memories of us together, both at COD and after. I'd like to thank my coaches for creating such a wonderful supportive atmosphere at COD. Special thanks to Coach Jane Vatchev for building such a great program where athletes could truly succeed. She also was one of my biggest cheerleaders and supporters, and I know I wouldn't be standing here tonight if it wasn't for her. Last, but certainly not least, I'd like to thank my amazing wife and 2 beautiful daughters. Although you didn't get to witness my running career since 2012, you've been my biggest supporters and fans. We've accomplished and overcome so much together. With you 2, now 3, I feel like I could do anything, and I look forward to all the incredible things that we will continue to overcome and accomplish in the future. I honestly can say that Harper Community College thanks you, April, for not finding me until after my running career was over. There's no doubt in my mind that if you were in my life back then, I would have doubled my national titles to 12 instead of the mere 6 I have. Not sure how I would have gotten to 12, but I know I would have found a way. So Harper College truly does thank you. I don't like Harper College. Once again, I truly am honored to be here tonight and have the privilege of being inducted into the College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations, John. Basketball was Brigid Barrett's forte, and her ability helped COD and head coach Earl Reed's program to the top in the NJCAA. A 2-year starter and captain, she helped her team to #1 rankings throughout her 2 seasons and led the Shaps to a national championship in 2002, their 2nd in program history. She was the tourney MVP along with an All-American that year. A multiple All-N4C and Region 4 player, the Shaps won 51 games in her 2 seasons.
It is an honor to introduce Brigid Barrett as she is being inducted into the 2024 Hall of Fame class at the College of DuPage. Brigid was an outstanding athlete in conjunction with just being an outstanding person for 2 years. The 2 years I coached her, and it was indeed an honor to have her as part of that team as part of the team for 2 years. That team that Brigid played on amassed a record of 51-7, and so we had a lot of success with her as the starting point guard. You know, it's interesting how Brigid actually came to the College of DuPage. Just a real quick story. I remember her mom getting in contact with me, and her mom and dad getting in contact with me. And basically, they were asking me to make an assessment on Brigid when she was in high school, because they were trying to determine, which level she could play at. And she had a nice high school career as well. And I think there were some lower level Division I schools that were interested in her, some Division II schools, and they just really didn't, know the process. And so, I was sent the video. I assessed the video, and I said, yeah, she's talented. She's a little small for a point guard, but she defends really well. She handles the ball really well, and she has, an attitude about her. Good point guards have this attitude of confidence about running as they, run the team. I'll use that term. And, she had all of that. And about the second or third time I got in contact with her parents, they said, well, what about your school? What about College of DuPage? Now, during this process, I had no idea that was even going to be an opportunity for College of DuPage to recruit Brigid. And so, long story short, her dad and her flew out. We met, not only viewed the campus, but also viewed the area. And they decided that, Brigid would come to College of DuPage. And so that's how our relationship started. Very solid person. I mean, off the court, very good student, very attention to detail. Never had any problems with Brigid. She had that personality, and she still has that personality today, that she just always wanted to help people, and she was very approachable. Her teammates really liked her. And then on the court, you had this tenacious point guard who could just disrupt people defensively. Really had an opportunity to run the show, our system of play. We like to get up and down the floor, and defensively, we really like to get after people. And she did a really good job of that. And then her sophomore year, we put in our system of plays where we could isolate her. And she had a great knack of they use the term getting downhill, I'll say, or getting to the basket. And she did that really well, and really developed her outside game as well. So both on the court and off the court, just a model citizen, outstanding athlete. And it was just a joy to coach her. It really was. As we had mentioned earlier, in the 2 years that Brigid started as our point guard, that team was 51-7. So we had a lot of success over those 2 years. She was all conference in 4C and Region 4. I think maybe both years. And in her sophomore year, she was the conference and Region 4 most valuable player. I like to say most outstanding player, because all of my players are valuable. But she was the most valuable player. And then she was second team All-American in that 2002 when that team won the national championship. I just remembered her during games. I mean, I'm just trying now to reflect during that time. It was really a special year. As a coach, sometimes when you have teams, and I've had a couple that experience success, and I'm using this in the terms of winning. You don't have to coach quite as hard. Now, my demeanor was pretty demanding, but I honestly have to say, that year was a pretty I would say easy, but when we went in and put our system in, when we put the system of play in, and when we were preparing against other teams, I really felt that we were solid going into each game that we played that year, and a lot of that had to do with Brigid being the point guard and really kind of organizing, orchestrating, our offense and defense. So it was easy. I felt very confident going into the games. Both Beth and I reference Beth because Beth was like the associate head coach of that team, and we always felt pretty comfortable with our schemes and how we were going to play against other teams. I was really blessed to have a team that had maturity, and I'm talking about her sophomore year, the year that we won the national championship, and kind of understood, what we needed to do in every game, and that was just a blessing to to have that kind of a team and to have Brigid, as the point guard. With Brigid being inducted into the College of DuPage Hall of Fame, if you look back at her track record, what she did academically at College of DuPage, the type of person that she still is and was at that time, and then all of the awards that she was able to accomplish, as a player. I think this is really kind of a no-brainer that she is being inducted into the College of DuPage Hall of Fame, and it is indeed an honor for me as her basketball coach, and now as a very good friend, that she is, receiving this award, and I am just pleased to be a part of this life and a part of this accomplishment for Brigid.
Brigid Barrett shined as a 2-year starter and team captain at point guard for fellow Hall of Famer Earl Reed's teams. She completed her career at the top of the NJCAA by helping COD win the 2002 championship and earning tournament MVP honors. The Jacksonville, Florida native was a 2-time All-N4C and Region 4 selection, along with earning conference and region MVP honors her sophomore season, and received second-team All-American honors. Her teams were ranked number 1 throughout both seasons and totaled a 51-7 overall record.
First of all, I want to say thank you. It's a blessing and an honor to be here. When Coach V called me and told me about the induction, I thought 2 things. 1, is she talking to the correct Brigid Barrett? And 2, did my dad bribe Coach Reed? Because they still do talk. I do want to say thank you to Coach Reed and Coach Mitchell. They molded me, shaped me, and made me the person that I am today. They supported me no matter what, and to be honest, I've called Coach Reed a couple times, or at least sent him messages when I was going through hard things, and he's always been there. Coach Mitchell was always the calm one on the field or on the court. When Coach Reed would get angry, Coach Mitchell was the one that knew how to handle all the women. And thank God she was there, because there were days I don't think he could handle any of us. My fondest memories, though, with COD was when we won the national championship. It was, to be honest, my last game in my career. I did have a basketball scholarship, and I made some mistakes and lost it. And, it is part of life, but don't think it has not beaten me up for these last 20 years, because it has. The worst part was telling my dad. My dad took me to all my games when I was a kid. We would drive from Jacksonville to Orlando every weekend, 2 hours there, 2 hours back. And when I called him and told him I lost that scholarship, to hear the the disappointment was the hardest thing I've ever done, and it still kills me. But the best part is, no matter what, my dad and mom have always supported me. They've never given up on me, and every choice that I've made, they've always been there, and it's been the best thing because even though I did lose my scholarship, I grew as a person and as a human. I learned to, well, one, I ran a couple of marathons, which no one is really proud of, but it's kind of exciting. I volunteered in Peru for a whole month working with children who are sick, and they played jokes on me. I barely knew any Spanish, and these little kids were telling me what to do, and I didn't know what they were saying, but it was a blessing that I've had. And from there, I went to Habitat for Humanity, and now I help build houses and lead a women's build. None of the women listen to me, so it's okay, but it's like I'm back at home, you know? There was something else I was going to say, and I totally forgot. So after I lost everything, I did get to grow. Now I'm still at Habitat, and I'm learning how to help others. I help others by giving them a house and working with them and showing them things that they may not know, how to install a door, how to fix a bifold, painting, caulking. It's something that is a real blessing because I get to give back to the community. My dad cannot be here tonight. He can't travel like he used to, and it's really sad because my mom is here, and she has been there for me 100%, but my dad is the most, I wanted him to be here because he has been through everything with me. And no matter what, when I did lose it, he still supported me, he still loves me. And I just wanted him to be here for this honor because he's been texting me and calling me ever since we got here, will not leave me alone. But lastly, since Coach V has called me, I have gotten the opportunity to coach basketball. I'm coaching 5, 6, 7-year-olds at the PAL League. None of them listen to me, too. It's like, but I enjoy it so much. And I do believe this is a blessing. I do believe that good things are going to come my way and that eventually I will get into basketball. So despite everything that I've been through, the ups and downs, I still feel blessed. I'm very thankful, and this is such an honor to me. I can't even tell you, it has lifted my spirits since Coach V did call me. So I want to say thank you guys for all that you've done for me, for shaping me, for showing me everything, and for believing me. I know my speech is in 5 to 8 minutes, but I tried, okay, guys? Thank you guys, and I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Brigid. Women's soccer's first Hall of Famer, Ashley Collins, was a scoring machine for the Chaparrals during her 2008 and 2009 seasons. A two-time All-American, she helped the Chaps to a pair of Region 4 titles by scoring a nation-best 30 goals her freshman season, and then she backed it up with 15 goals and 32 assists as a sophomore. A two-time N4C and Region 4 Player of the Year, she completed her collegiate career with 2 seasons at NCAA Division I Indiana State University.
Hi, it's my honor today to be here to induct Ashley Collins into the COD Hall of Fame. Ashley was a player that played for me for 2 years in 2008, 2009. She led the nation in scoring and points in both of those years, with her 2008 season having 30 goals and 20 assists, and her 2009 season she had 15 goals and 34 assists. The reason why her goals diminished in her second year is we moved her from being a striker, which probably wasn't the best coaching move in the world. However, we needed a better center mid to play, and Ashley stepped into that role. With that, she ended up scoring 15 goals by herself, 34 assists, and with her being in the center of our field, we were able to have 5 players in the top 20 and 3 players in the top 10 in scoring in the nation. She's very, very deserving of the honor to be in the Hall of Fame. I was very fortunate enough to be at the right place at the right time in order to have an opportunity to work with her. And College DuPage gave me the opportunity, and it was, I think, 9 of the best years of coaching that I had was with the College DuPage women's soccer program. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Ashley as a player. Ashley is a person that I would consider to be a bloodhound. She is the type of player that knows where the ball is at all time, and she also knows where the ball is going to be at all times. It was quite apparent the first year that we were working with her that you would sit there during a practice time and say, this is what we want to work on. She would work on that. But in a game time, it was like she was just chasing the bone. She knew exactly where it was going to be, and she was always in the place at the right time. Ashley came to me towards the middle of her first season, and we were talking about opportunities that she might have in the future, playing at the next level. And we had talked about continuing her goal scoring opportunities and making her the best visionable person that was out there, and inviting as many teams as possible to come see her play. And one of the things we try to do is to play Division I, II, and III junior varsity teams and basically whoop up on them because they think they're going to have a pushover. And when their coaches are coaching their JV kids and we have a freshman or a sophomore that's better than all of the players on their team, it's a great opportunity for that coach to come over. And we use it as a recruiting tool and a promoting tool. And Ashley knew exactly what she wanted to do. She wanted to be a little closer to home. She wanted to play at a high level. And she had a number of opportunities. And it was great that she had an opportunity and played for 2 years at Indiana State. So I just wanted to say that there's always going to be a second chance out there for our players. And Ashley was the first one to go off and do us proud. I'd like to thank the College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame Committee for allowing me to be a part of inducting Ashley into this. She has been so deserving for years. And I am very grateful that I've been able to be a part of this evening.
Two-time All-American Ashley Collins led NJCAA soccer in points in each of her 2 seasons with the Chaparrals. She scored a nation-best 30 goals with 20 assists in 2008 and scored 15 goals with 32 assists for 62 points as a sophomore. The Crown Point, Indiana native was the N4C Most Valuable Player and Region 4 Player of the Year both seasons, helping COD to a pair of Region 4 titles. She received an athletic scholarship to play at Indiana State University, where she was a 2-year regular for the Sycamores.
All right, so first and foremost, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee and Jane Vatchev for being selected to receive this amazing honor. I'm extremely humbled and honored to be able to stand before you tonight. And to my fellow inductees, I am honored to be a part of this class of exceptional athletes and coaches and proud to stand alongside you tonight. To my daughter Avery, I know you're absolutely dying to get up here and talk on this microphone, but I promise you, you're going to do big things in life and your day will come. I love you so much. Also, side note, I'm sure you heard my 1-year-old son screaming. He refused to take his nap today, so I apologize once again for that. Thank you to my parents who took countless hours out of their lives to take me to and from practices, games, and tournaments all over the country. I can't thank you enough for your sacrifices and support in order to help me succeed. After all, I'm not sure I know many parents that willingly put a full-size soccer goal in their backyard in order to help their kids reach their dreams. Coach Hunter, thank you for being such an amazing, supportive coach during my 2 years at COD. Thank you for making the game fun and always believing in me. You always pushed me to be my best and give my best both on and off the field. You taught me to believe in myself no matter what. It was truly an honor to play for you. Because of you, I was able to succeed and make it to the next level. My passion for soccer came at a young age. I began playing at 2.5 years old. Well, I wouldn't really call it playing, but I was wearing a soccer jersey and managed to pick the most beautiful dandelions on the field. My coaches, who are my parents, must have seen quite the potential because they continued signing me up for soccer, and I continued playing. Truth is, I wanted to play everything my big brother Ryan did. So Ryan, thank you for being such an inspiration, my biggest role model, and instilling the competitive spirit in me that I still have today. I'll never forget you sitting on top of the bars in the backyard on top of our swing set, throwing balls in my head, yelling at me to head them. You probably should have warned me that we were doing a practice drill because you 100% completely caught me off guard and I had no idea how to do a header at the time. Still to this day, I'm not sure if you were just throwing balls in my head or actually teaching me how to do a header. We can discuss that later. I started playing travel soccer around the age of 8 and absolutely fell in love with the game. You couldn't get me off the field. My parents always instilled the fact that hard work and heart beats talent, and soccer was 100% a team sport. Dedication and practice will take you far. Growing up, the rule was if you scored a goal, you were told good job after the game. If you had an assist, you got a Happy Meal. Being a great teammate trumped anything else. I always dreamed of playing college soccer, but almost completely gave up on soccer after my senior year of high school. I remember telling my mom I didn't want to play anymore. I was done. I was going to stay close to home and go to school. She refused to let me quit and drove me on a college visit to College of DuPage. After several discussions, deliberations, and debates, I finally gave in and said, all right, I'll play again. So to my mom, Cheryl, thank you. I know for a fact I wouldn't be standing up here today if it wasn't for your love, support, and persistence. You refused to let me give up on something I loved and have always pushed me to be my best. I have no idea where I'd be today if it wasn't for you. My 2 years at COD were some of the best and most memorable years of my life. I learned so much about myself during the time. It was the first time I was away from my family and on my own. I was just a girl from Indiana who didn't know a single person, nor much less how to get to COD from my home. I remember calling Coach Hunter before one of my practices saying, Coach, I don't think I'm going to make practice today. I somehow ended up in Iowa. My mom had bought me a TomTom. I swear the thing just kept telling me to make U-turn after U-turn. Lesson learned, we probably programmed it incorrectly or it was 100% user error. To this day, we will never know. From then on, I used a paper copy of directions and made it without any issues. And then my friend and teammate Lauren opened up her home to me so I didn't have to make the drive back and forth. For that, I'm eternally grateful. My teammates truly turned into family, and I looked going forward to practice every day. When I wasn't in class or on the soccer field, I was working in the equipment room, making sure all the other athletes and coaches were prepared and had what they needed for their teams to succeed. I basically lived at COD. I met so many other athletes, coaches, and made so many new friends. I got to watch some of the best athletes perform and some of the best coaches lead their teams to victories. I listened to the pep talks these coaches gave to their athletes and took every opportunity to soak it all in. There was absolutely no better job in the world than to be around sports all day, every day. Coach Hunter and my assistant coach, Tomas, were two of the greatest coaches I've ever had the pleasure of playing for. There's absolutely nothing difficult about playing the game you love and succeeding when you are having fun. There wasn't a dull moment when you were around them. There were countless memories made, laughs, and happy tears shed because of these two. The world would be lucky to have more people or coaches like them. Like I said previously, Coach Hunter always believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. I'll never forget the regional game against Joliet Junior College. The score was tied at 1-1, and I put one in the back of the net with not much time left in the game. Coach Hunter pulled me aside and said, "You're going back on defense." I said, "Excuse me, what?" I've never played defense in my life. He said, "Just don't let them score. You've got this." In my head, I'm thinking, is he insane? This is not going to end well. But I did exactly what he told me to do. I didn't let the ball pass me, and I did not let them score. We ended up winning the game 2-1 and went to nationals in Texas. What an amazing experience that was. Playing soccer has instilled so many great values in my life. It's taught me the importance of resilience, integrity, and humility. That hard work never goes unnoticed. Always believe in yourself, never give up, and undoubtedly you will fail, but all that matters is how hard you bounce back. These values have shaped me into the person I am today, and I will forever cherish them. Because of College of DuPage and Coach Hunter's guidance, I was able to receive a scholarship to play at Indiana State University, and for that, I'm forever grateful. To the younger generation, and my kids especially, may you always work hard, follow your dreams, and stay resilient. Anything is possible with hard work and dedication. Embrace the journey, learn from your setbacks, and never give up on your goals. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ashley. 21 seasons at the helm of the Chaparrals football program, the late Bob MacDougall is known for coaching, mentoring, and developing the hundreds of chaparrals who donned the green and gold. MacDougall's name is etched in NJCAA history with his teams winning a remarkable record, 36 consecutive games. He coached 37 All-Americans, dozens who moved on to four-year schools, with 6 of his players competing in the National Football League. And tonight, Coach Mac joins fellow Chap Hall of Fame football stars Paul Spicer, Mike Bellamy, and Aaron Bailey. And gentlemen, I see you into the COD Athletic Hall of Fame.
Good evening. I'm Earl Roman, and I'm very proud of being able to induct and help induct Bob MacDougall into the Football Hall of Fame at the College of DuPage. Yeah, I guess the first thing I would say that strikes me above other feeling about other coaches and different from Bob MacDougall. First off, Bob was first a family man. I mean, he always met with his family when he could, and after the game, before the game, after practice, he was always with the family. So first, he was a family man, and then next, I think the next quality would be that he was always good to help any player, any coach, his family, and he sort of did it all at once. And as far as his ability to coach, it was a little thing, in sports, not only do football, but volleyball or whatever. It's the little things that make the difference. And Bob was very high on that thing. Some of the ones that really struck me, I'm going, wow, that's cool what we're doing. And what it was we had practices where we had 2 a day, and we didn't have classes till late, so it would give us the opportunity to have 2 practices. And we'd have the first practice, and then everybody'd scoot in, get their snacks, and come back out, and they'd be in a circle. And then Bob would take one of the coaches and say, okay, you're talking today, and we explain what we're going to do. So we'd be out there practicing hard, and then Bob would say, okay, everybody in the locker room, put on your shorts, and meet us in the swimming pool. And we had an Olympic swimming pool. It's looking around, go, what's he going to do, drown us or something? And no, we went in there, and then the kids swam. And, those little things brought those guys together. It was not one of those things where, okay, we're going to practice for 2 hours and we'll see you tomorrow. There was always, we did things to where we were doing things to improve the kids' ability to play the game, and also to help other people on the team as well and be one. We were always together where we were. Bob was not one of those coaches that got mad and were yelling and things like that. They saved that for me. And he spoke to the players, and no matter what the situation was, it was very calm, and always went with what we have to do to win this game, and for what we have to have you do. I think that was one of his biggest qualities, and that and the players all felt themselves as being a part of the team. Him and the other coaches, we all talked to the players, and During Bob's tenure as a head coach of the College of DuPage, we had 37 All-Americans make it to there, and they all deserved it. And that's a pretty impressive record there. That players were honored. What made them, I think, great was the fact that Bob kept them on track of what they were doing, and also keeping them. The thing that you have to do there is that I see is right away when they started getting the publicity and people start talking. Can we talk to the quarterback? After the game and things like that, and they got notoriety. And what was important is that Bob kept the players humble, and that's what was the difference. And the kids knew they were going to win football games. They just didn't know what the score was. They knew that it could be 14-13 or 42-12. I can tell you for sure, coaches, players, fans, that would be their first call. And when they said, "Okay, who do we take as far as being in the College Hall of Fame?" He was well liked and was more than deserving of being a coach. And the only bad thing about the thing is that he didn't get a chance to see himself be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Bob MacDougall built the Chaparral football program into a perennial NJCAA power in his 21 seasons at the helm. His team set the NJCAA all-time winning streak of 36 consecutive games that included 3 consecutive unbeaten seasons from 1993 to 1995. His 174-59 record included 11 Region 4 titles, with 8 straight titles between 1989 and 1996, and 8 N4C titles, including 4 consecutive titles from 1992 to 1995. He coached 37 All-Americans, and 6 of his players went on to the National Football League, including fellow COD Athletic Hall of Famers Paul Spicer, Mike Bellamy, and Aaron Bailey. He led Joliet Junior College to the NJCAA title in 2002 and was named National Coach of the Year. He was named to the NJCAA Football Coaches Hall of Fame in 1997 and Region 4 Hall of Fame in 2006. He passed away October 3, 2021, at the age of 77.
Let's get started. Obviously, I'm not Bob. I'm his older brother, Jim. We got into coaching together back in the 60s. And we ended up coaching, we started with coaching a team that previously had never had a winning season in their 17 years. And the very first year, we ended up 6-3. We only had 16 players, but with Bob's help, we ended up 6-3. The next year, we ended up 8-1. Back then, you didn't play 9. You started playing 9 games. There were no state titles or anything like this. And the idol, the man we all looked up to, was Vince Lombardi. If you're a little older, you've heard of him. He was legendary, and he taught the game. And Vince had a saying, there are 3 things important: God, family, football. And both Bob and I adopted those. God was very important in our lives and still is. And I'm doing something a little bit different. Hopefully you'll reflect. I'd like to take a minute out and have people remember somebody who needs their prayer. This is not a revival, but I happen to have a family member who is in the ICU right now, or he'd be here. And I don't know if he's going to make it. But if you have someone else you'd like to pray for, let's just take a second and reflect on someone we pray for. Thank you. The second thing Lombardi taught was family. And Bob has a remarkable family. And he has, his oldest is Amy. His oldest child, well, she's not a child anymore. Second is Kevin. Third is Scott. And fourth is Alex. And the quarterback of that family is his wife, Judy. Now, I'm not, maybe I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to, because I have the microphone. And I'm not going to be in Chicago tomorrow. But to demonstrate family, I'd like everybody to be silent for a second, and only those who are MacDougalls or related to MacDougalls to just applaud now. There are people from Michigan. As soon as Bob got inducted, people said, "We're coming, we're coming, we're coming." And they did. And family is so important. And the quarterback of Bob's family is his wife, Judy, and she's such a great quarterback and probably the head coach. Those of you who know her know that. And the last part of Lombardi's talk was always football. I'm not going to talk about it. Read about it. You have the little booklet. It tells you what he did. He was pretty good. He was damn good. He was my brother. And I'm very, very proud to be here to say thank you to the College of DuPage for this honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. MacDougall, and congratulations to the entire MacDougall family and the Chaparral football family. A seasoned veteran of 28 years within the athletic department as a coach, administrator, and professor, Earl Reed did it all for the Chaparrals. His 11 seasons as women's basketball head coach included a pair of national championships, along with coaching 11 All-Americans. He served 3 seasons as head men's basketball coach and served as an assistant in men's tennis. And he also was a 2-time National Coach of the Year when those teams won national championships. Under Dr. Reed's watch as AD, COD won 5 national team championships in his 4 years, including 3 Natica Cups awarded to the top non-scholarship athletic program in the NJCAA. He served 24 of his 28 years as a professor of physical education.
Good evening. I'm honored to be here to introduce Earl Reed to the College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame. I had the privilege of working alongside Earl in the women's basketball program for 10 years. First and foremost, I want to congratulate Earl on this well-deserved honor. I really am happy for Earl to receive this recognition for his 28 years of service at the College of DuPage, both as a coach and an administrator. And he made a lot of great contributions to the athletic department. Earl received many accolades as a coach. His coaching tenure was winning championships at the regional level, at the national level, and at the conference level. Earl was a disciplined coach. He focused and built his program on the pillars of recruiting, player development, practice planning, game preparation, and mentoring student athletes. He excelled in all of these areas and was committed to giving his best to ensure that his teams achieved at the highest level. Earl worked hard to build a program that was respected both locally and nationally. His teams were consistently ranked in the top 10 at the national level. The success of his program really started with the recruiting process. Earl recruited athletes that were good players, they were good people, they wanted to excel not only on the court, but off the court as well. And the first step in the recruiting process for Earl was always to make a visit to the home of any prospective student athlete that he might be recruiting. He wanted to get buy-in not only from the student athlete, but he wanted to get buy-in from their families. He really wanted to build his program based on a culture of family. And I believe a lot of his success came because of the way that he started by recruiting the student athletes from the perspective of home first and then getting them to buy into our program as a basketball program. He really valued their support. He spent time getting to know the parents. He spent time getting to know their siblings. And our teams all had a spirit of togetherness. Our student athletes and our families got on board right from the start. Earl was a great teacher of the game of basketball. I often marveled at the way he could masterfully take a skill and break it down into parts. He could teach it to his players, and they could execute it with accuracy. He was great at teaching skills in progression. He could teach offensive sets in parts. His defense was definitely his forte. You know, we spent a lot of time working on defense, and we primarily played man-to-man defense. His teams were known as a man-to-man type team, and we really got after it on the defensive end of the floor. If players weren't getting the job done on the defensive end of the floor, they were probably going to be sitting on the bench next to me and Earl. And Earl would always tell the team, you know, anybody can play defense. Defense is really all about heart and effort. Heart and effort. That's all that it is. And he instilled that in his players each and every day. Our practices were detailed, they were thorough, they were executed with timeliness, they were always challenging. Every day, Earl and I would meet before practice. We would plan out practice down to the minute. I mean, we would lay out what we were going to work on that day, and we had it timed minute by minute as to what needed to be done. Our teams were physically and mentally conditioned so that we could really handle anything that a team threw at us. We had an answer for it. We scouted every opponent. Sometimes we scouted them 2 times, sometimes 3 times, depending upon what we needed to see. Back in the day, we didn't have all the technology that there is today, so we didn't have a lot of game film to look at, but we would physically go to gyms, we would sit, we would watch games, and we would come up with a scouting report. We would give our players a written report of their matchups, who they were going to be guarding, what our defensive plan was, what our offensive plan was. We'd make goals for each individual game. And, you know, we did this because we wanted to ensure that we were getting our teams prepared, ready to play, no matter who we were playing against. Of course, our number one goal was we always wanted to win, but we wanted to make sure that winning or losing, our teams always stayed together and they played together. One thing you could always count on was Earl's teams were prepared and they were very well coached. Earl took his role of mentoring student athletes very seriously. He knew his players on a personal level, and he wanted them to be successful not only on the basketball court, but be successful people as well. Team meetings were important, but individual player meetings were even more important. Earl would often meet with players just to bring them in, check in, see how they were doing, how classes were going, how their families were doing, really just to kind of check in and see if they needed help or any support in any way. And this wasn't an uncommon thing with Earl. He really worked hard to build those relationships with his student athletes. The players had a sense of trust. They trusted Earl, and they could confide in him if they did need something. Again, I think this was another reason why Earl was so successful as a basketball coach, because his players believed in him and they trusted in him. Earl was a pretty intense coach, both at practice and during games. He knew how to motivate his team. If he wasn't happy about something, you'd hear about it. You would definitely hear about it. If we were playing well, things were going well, we were winning, let's say at halftime, he might come in and just kind of recap what we did well in the first 20 minutes of the game, maybe talk a little bit about what we needed to focus on for the second half. But if things weren't going well, we weren't playing well, we weren't executing that game plan the way that he wanted us to, you knew Earl was upset, you were going to hear about it. And I always like to tease Earl, but he had this little lip quiver that would kind of happen when he'd get real upset and his bottom lip would start shaking. And I would think, uh-oh, here it goes. He's gonna let him have it. But I have to say that as much as that happened, we would always come back out in the second half and really, really play unbelievable basketball. It would be a blazing start to the second half. So I teased Earl a lot about that lip quivering, and I said, we won many games in the second half following those fiery halftime speeches when that bottom lip really started shaking. Earl was always professional. He was respected by opposing teams, their coaches, and the officials. If College of DuPage women's basketball was playing, you could expect good sportsmanship, you could expect good athletic, competitive athletes, and you could expect quality basketball. It started from the top down, and Earl led by example. He was also a fabulous dresser. I always had to note Earl's great style. On game days, you'd often find him roaming the sidelines in a very stylish suit and tie and matching shoes to go along. He had class, and he led his basketball program with class. For me personally, Earl was a great mentor and friend. I valued our years of coaching together. I especially valued our friendship. Earl and I had fun coaching together. We had fun coaching together because we really enjoyed what we did, and we loved the athletes that we coached. I have so many great memories of women's basketball here at COD that I will always cherish. I'm certain if every player could be here tonight, they would say, thank you, Coach Reed. Thank you for investing in the College of DuPage women's basketball program. Thank you for our shared experiences. And thank you for investing in our lives as people. I, too, say thank you, Coach Reed. Thank you for the honor of working alongside you for over a decade. Thank you for your friendship. And I congratulate you on this wonderful honor, your induction into the College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame.
Dr. Thomas Earl Reed, a coach, administrator, and professor during his 28 years at COD, served as the head women's basketball coach for 11 seasons from 1991 to 2002. His teams won 2 NJCAA championships in 2000 and 2002, 5 Region 4 titles, 1996, 1998, 1999, 2000, and 2002, and coached 11 All-Americans. He also coached the men's program for 3 seasons from 2014 to 2016, and served as an assistant men's tennis coach from 1995 to 1997, helping the Chaps to an NJCAA title in 1997. COD won 5 NJCAA team titles in his 4 years as athletics director from 2002 to 2006, and earned 3 Daktronic Cup Awards, emblematic of the nation's top non-scholarship Program of the Year honors in 2004, 5, and 6. He served 24 of his 28 years as a professor of physical education.
Thank you. That was, Beth, that's amazing. First and foremost, I give honor to God, who is the head of my life, and it's because of his grace and mercy I stand before you this evening. I want to acknowledge my beautiful wife, Makita Lewis Reed, for her continued support. I am grateful for your insightful perspective and the way you enrich our lives with your knowledge. You're not only my partner, but my best friend and confidant. Thank you, babe. Thank you, Beth Mitchell, for the outstanding introduction. I kind of figured it was going to be an outstanding introduction. I cherish your friendship You were a phenomenal associate head coach and a head coach in your own right. And your contributions never went unnoticed. And I am deeply grateful for all that you did during our amazing run. Thank you to the committee members. I am humbled and grateful that you selected me to this very prestigious club, and I also want to thank and honor the other inductees tonight. I would also like to thank the team, and that's my assistant coaches and the administrative staff during my tenure as a head coach, professor, and administrator. Thank you, Chris Nelson, Christy McChris, Chris Cotton, Beth Mitchell, William Anderson, Barry Froley, and the late Phil Broom regarding the athletic coaching team. And the administrative team, Luann Zimick, who was the associate athletic director, Sue Venna, Lisa Odo, and again, Beth Mitchell, who were the administrative staff for both athletics and physical education during my tenure as the AD and associate dean of physical education. Thank you. To my colleagues, Don Kloss, Jane Vatchev, Gail Tate, Ron Otteson, the late Bob MacDougall, Bill Pearson, Dave Webster, Stephanie Vlock, Donna Olson, Al Kaltoffen, Sue Brody, Wes Fritz, Matt Foster, Matt Cousin, Mark Gamble, Max Bertman, Julie Roman, Mike Bell, Natalie Sanderson, and Jason Hunter. I know that I'm probably missing some, but thank all of you guys for being an outstanding team and staff members. Thank you to all the student athletes who played on our athletic teams I was privileged to oversee. This award is not possible without your support and the belief that you had in the programs you were a part of. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Dr. Ralph Miller, who was not only a good friend, but an outstanding mentor. Thank you, Ralph. And there's so many others, Jesse Chick, Ron and Valerie Knighton, Sean Connor, some of the men's team, Deion Thomas, Chris Chambliss. Thank all of you. I know I'm missing some. Daryl in the back. Thank you all. And the presidents who served during my 29 years at the College of DuPage, Dr. Hal McAninch, Dr. Michael Murphy, Dr. Sunil Chan, Dr. Robert Bruder, Dr. Ann Rondeau, and Dr. Brian Caputo. It's my understanding that this is Brian's last year. He'll be retiring. And thank you for being a very special friend and all the contributions that you made to the athletic department. Did not go unnoticed. Thank you so much. You know, as I reflect on my tenure at the College of DuPage, I had an epiphany regarding the amazing experiences as a coach, administrator, and professor. And during this reflection, the words developmental zone culture resonated in my mind. Now, developmental zone culture, it's not a new term. It's used by a lot of organizations. And it's really just the organizing principle that unifies everything. Sports programs, departments, organizations. Simply stated, it was the principle that the way things were done at the College of DuPage, particularly in the athletic department. And there was a four-tier approach to the team, and that was my administrative staff and my coaching staff that supported me, that used and modeled to shape the culture of the programs we facilitated. I believe this four-tier approach was the footprints of the successes we experienced, and I defined with the team the term meant to me, and again, that was administrators and the administrative staff and the coaching staff. The first tier is what I termed single goal leader. And the single goal leader shapes and defines the culture, and that was the institution. Faculty, administrators, classified staff, that developed the mission and philosophy of the institution. And although it changed periodically, basically it was students first, or in my experience, student athletes first. Our decisions regarding the athletic programs were based on the premise of student athletes first. The second tier is a term called our double goal coaches. And the first goal was to strive to win. And if you take a stroll over to the athletic department and you notice all of the banners and trophies, we did that. Winning was something that was a culture at the College of DuPage. But the second goal, and probably the most important, was that we taught life lessons. We, the coaching and administrative team members, used the trials and tribulations that come from being a sports competitor to teach life lessons. The third tier were the parents, or those who were, I call, positive sports parents. We made sure, and this is my coaching staff, that we met with every parent in the program, and we got them to buy into the concept of teaching life lessons as it pertained to their sons and or daughters participating in a competitive sport. It was important that the parents coincide with our coaching team philosophy of teaching life lessons, those lessons that when they came home from a very tough practice or a very tough game, that the parents were also talking to them about how this was going to help build them as individuals. And the fourth tier was our athletes, or I'll call them, use the term, triple impact competitors. We believe that better athletes make better people. First and foremost, we wanted to respect themselves, that when they looked in the mirror, they were proud of the person that they saw. Second, we wanted them to respect their teammates, and that's pretty evident tonight of our teams that there are a lot of players here, Dion and Dan Howard and Jessica Stacy, all of them supporting their teammates. That when they look, and second, we want them to respect their teammates, and that's evident tonight. Several teammates are here to support Brigid being inducted into this prestigious club. And the third thing we taught was to respect the game. I'll use the word roots, and the acronym for roots was 1, respect the game, respect opponents, respect officials, teammates, and self. The goal was that when they finished their academic and sports participation career at COD, that they would take all of their experiences and use them to become respected citizens in society. In closing, you did not hear me use the words Hall of Fame. I did not join the coaching and teaching profession seeking fame. If my name comes up in conversation, I hope the word committed is used to define my legacy. That Dr. Thomas Earl Reed was committed to being the best professor, coach, and administrator, not only at the College of DuPage, but the other colleges I had the privilege of serving throughout my professional career. Thank you. Thank you, committee members.
Congratulations, Earl. COD's president since 2019, Dr. Brian Caputo's support and advocacy for all things Chaparral athletics was unquestioned during his 5 years. A constant presence at games, Dr. Caputo mentored, counseled, and supported our department, and certainly proof positive was his going on the road attendance during last week's historic baseball run at the NJCAA World Series in Auburn, New York. His guidance played a pivotal role in helping the Athletic Hall of Fame become a reality.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Kaiser, and I'm the Director of Athletics here at the College of DuPage. It is my extreme honor and privilege to induct our current president, Dr. Brian Caputo. I personally want to thank Dr. Brian Caputo, as he's been a mentor and advocate in my athletic career. Never in a million years did I ever think I'd come to a community college where I could actually have success. Dr. Caputo has been instrumental in developing a team of teams and allowing me to flourish in this arena. In the 4 years that I've been here, we have been able to accomplish great things. Whether it is being recognized as one of the best athletic departments in the country via the 2 Daktronic national championships that we have won, or by being recognized as the very best athletic department via the Learfield Cup and the Director's Cup with NACDA. Dr. Caputo has always been willing to give of his time, be able to listen, to provide feedback and commentary, and be able to be successful in this community college arena. And I will be forever grateful to Dr. Brian Caputo and his willingness to walk alongside, to buy into what I was selling, and as he would say, be able to get some of that Kaiser's secret sauce passed along to our teams. Thank you, sir. It's been an honor. People always ask me, what is Dr. Caputo and how is his support with the athletic department? I can say that Dr. Caputo supports each and every one of our athletic teams. He has been instrumental in developing athletic facilities, whether it's the new Jumbotrons in the PEC Center, the athletic turf fields on football, baseball, softball. His vision and philosophy for college athletics definitely aligned with mine to provide a quality student-athlete experience. That requires both a commitment of personnel and budgetary help. His consistent presence at both home and away contests was a driving force behind student-athletes feeling supported. That also has helped us in hosting national championships, whether it be football or volleyball, developing the Athletic Hall of Fame, or even increasing the athletic offerings to our DuPage community, whether that's new sports of women's golf, esports, men's volleyball, men's and women's lacrosse, or our upcoming year of women's flag football. Dr. Caputo was instrumental during COVID-19, as most community colleges did not allow their athletic teams to participate, whether it was athletic play or just working out. Dr. Caputo knew and understood that buying in and recognizing these student athletes to stay connected with our community, with the athletic department activities, and allowed for persistence, retention, and improved mental health via our students and our staff. Dr. Caputo has been instrumental in allowing this athletic department and professor in physical education, Jane Vatchev, develop, form, and facilitate this new Athletic Hall of Fame, where COD recognizes its very best from the past athletic years here at COD. The fact that he has attended every Hall of Fame banquet in the past 4 years is a testament to his dedication and support here with Chaparral Athletics. You know, as the landscape of NJCAA athletics has changed over time, the last several years, it's really been a challenge to stay up to date with all of the things that are going on. One of the ways that we have persisted here at the College of DuPage is by adding athletic scholarships for both men's and women's basketball. Dr. Caputo allowed for the use of this scholarships to help go to the residents of District 502. Dr. Caputo has been super supportive of the College of DuPage athletics. His willingness to talk on the phone publicly to me started with, how is your team doing? Or when's the next home game so that I can make sure that I catch XYZ sport? He has always been our biggest fan. And not only has he attended things on campus, but also off campus, not just in college athletics, but with the arts and other cultural events that COD has to offer. He never has said you need to be a national champion or have championship sports with XYZ. But the expectation to be competitive has always been there within the region and on a national stage. And I know our student athletes, and from an administrative perspective, We could not be more thrilled and honored by his commitment here at COD. Please help me in welcoming and honoring Dr. Brian Caputo as a member of the Athletic Hall of Fame here at the College of DuPage.
Dr. Brian Caputo's unwavering support of Chaparral athletics has been a constant in his 5 years at the helm. His advocacy helped bring the Athletic Hall of Fame to fruition in 2019. His consistent presence at athletic events and support of all 21 Chaparral sports teams played a key role in COD's return to national excellence in the National Junior College Athletic Association. COD has won 11 national championships in 5 sports since 2021, capped by the college winning the 2022-2023 Learfield Directors' Cup as the nation's most successful junior college athletic program. His tenure includes establishing a new strategic long-range plan, navigating the college through a worldwide pandemic, and implementing the college's first equity plan. Brian and his wife Karen make their home in Aurora and are the parents of 3 children, Brian Jr., Greg, and Katie, and are the grandparents of 2 children.
Well, thank you for that, Ryan. I very much appreciate that. I must express my sincerest appreciation of the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, to Athletic Director Ryan Kaiser and Hall of Fame Coordinator Jane Vatchev for considering me. This is a profound honor, which I will say I wasn't really expecting. I'm humbled to be included in a Hall of Fame class with such distinguished individuals, and I think what you heard here today, this evening, from the testimonies and from the individuals as they spoke, I think you saw some of what I think was the character coming through, which was the character is, I think, what is the important thing that our athletes take away from this whole experience. Athletics hold an incredibly important place at College of DuPage. Frankly, I believe that in part, it makes the college what it is. I cannot imagine COD without football games or the softball diamond or athletes working out at the PAC or in any of the other activities or events that surround athletics. Admittedly, our primary focus at the college is academics, and that is as it should be. We need to prepare our students for their next steps in life. However, athletics can play a very large role in that too. Athletics give our students an opportunity to learn about time management, teamwork, the pursuit of excellence, and heart. I've often said that athletes are among the hardest working students on campus. They must manage class meetings with studying and practices and games and travel and family responsibilities and sometimes work. These efforts are remarkable and inspirational. From where do these students learn about the teamwork, the pursuit of excellence, and the heart that is never giving up? Their families can certainly teach them those lessons, but it's the coaches who bring the life lessons with every practice, game, and interaction with a student athlete. Those student athletes are watching every move those coaches make, not like our own kids. We are so fortunate to have coaches that teach these lessons exceedingly well. I am immeasurably grateful to the coaches for all that they do. And truth be told, they've done a fair amount of tolerating me. After the games, asking questions, what's this, what's that? And they look at me like, what's this accountant administrator guy doing? But they tolerate me. They've tolerated me, so I've been flattered by that. One of my highest desires for our athletics programs is that the student athletes have had a good experience. When Ryan was first hired, I told him as much. I said that I wasn't as concerned about winning national championships as I was about the athlete's experience. I just wanted them to be reasonably competitive. Around 500 would have been great, and have a good experience. And then Ryan looked at me and smiled as if to say, yeah, right. And then with the dedication of the coaches and the players across the range of sports, we saw more national championships and other high finishes that I can't even count. I seriously can't keep track of them anymore. So I thank Ryan, his staff, and again, all of the coaches for the extraordinary efforts that have brought us so much success and quality to the student-athlete experience over the past several years. And you've seen a lot of some of the glory years that we've had, and we've reminisced about those, but there were some years that weren't maybe quite as glorious. And I think we've got our mojo back, and as I understand, there's talk about there that the COD sports dragon has been awakened, and I'm very glad for that. These years at College of DuPage have been a great ride for me. Athletics has been certainly one of the reasons for this. However, I would not have been able to do this without the support of a loving family. I'd like to thank my wife, Karen. She cannot be here tonight due to travel plans that were arranged long ago. And I'd also like to thank my children, Brian Jr., Gregory, and Catherine. You saw a picture of the clan there a few minutes ago. With that, I will close. I wish you all the best in the future. In the athletics department, every success. I would just say, keep doing what you're doing, and God bless you all.
Congratulations, Brian, and we wish you so well in your future, and thank you for serving so well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our 7 Hall of Famers a final round of applause tonight. Once again, we offer congratulations to Mark and John and Ashley and Brigid, the entire MacDougall family, and Earl and Brian. Before we close tonight, we would like to thank the entire DoubleTree staff for their first-class hospitality. We return to the DoubleTree again and again for our banquets, and they knock it out of the park each time. So thank you for all that you do in making us feel so welcome here at the DoubleTree. Thank you, Kevin Willman. It goes without saying, man, that you're something else, and the work that your staff does for us and for all people, all facets at College of DuPage really is something else. And yeah, you're a good guy, man, and thank you for all that you do. Our ceremony would not be possible without the efforts of Jane Vatchev. And Jane, you're instrumental in making our Athletic Hall of Fame see its fruition. The work, the time that you put into it, it's just remarkable what you do. Is your passion and so on is so great. The glasses that you see at your table are there for you to take tonight. That's our gift, so don't leave anything on the table. Bring them home. Also, nominations for future Hall of Fames. That information is out on the desk out front. We want to be able to have you guys come back and nominate away. Once again, on behalf of all the Hall of Fame committee, tonight's honorees and their families and friends, we thank you for your attendance and sharing your time with us on this special occasion. Please enjoy your evening. Drive home safely and have a good night, everybody. Thank you.